In Python, input function is used to accept data from the user and then to give it in form of an output. So we need to use an input function in Python programming so that we can ascertain or we can accept the user data from the system. So the syntax we use in imputing data into the system through or by the use of Python programming, we use variable equals to input. Inside parentheses, we have prompt, but this prompt is optional. It's just there to in order to specify uh, the type or the just for clarification. So that's why we are having the prompt as an what as an optional symbol there. So we are going to just start our practical with input, and we know we have written so many or some of the programs. Like for example, we have written a program that can welcome someone into the environment of Python. That's hello world to say. This time around, we are going to use input function in order to welcome a user into the system. And we have been seeing in almost all our dealings with applications, we have seen how this input work hand in hand. Whereas if you log into the system, you will see welcome, that is your user. As usual, using our VS Code, we have saved a file already with the name input example.py. And we know in Python, normally, if we just type print, we have hello, let's say Bamanga. We see this, if we run it, it will display the output called Bamanga here, right? So here we want a situation where you can be able to what? Specify the system to accept input from the user, and in doing that we can decide to what? Have or declare and initialize a variable called name. Let's assume we have name is equals to, and we are going to assign, we are going to accept this input. This time around, it's not like we are assigning let's assume Bamanga, where if we come to this place we still call name. Are you together? So if we do something like this, it's the same thing that it will display. What is the problem? So because we did not include this into what? Into a double quote. So if we have it here, we still have this, but the issue here, we did not include a function. So let's try to run it again and we see it here. We have it as hello Bamanga, right? So now what we are going to do is we want to accept input from the system. We are going to have input, then we type maybe enter your name, enter your name or enter your surname, enter your surname or last name, enter your last name. So this is what this system can be able to print, but we need to put it inside a quote, right? So we are done. So this time around, if we run this program, as we can see, we have the syntax name, input, then the prompt. The prompt now is going to be enter your name. If I run this, it will now run and display hello, whatever name you have entered. So this is the container that can be able to accept whatever that is stored inside name. Because if you run this, whatever you have keyed in here, it will now store it inside that name variable. It's just the same thing as if you are assigning. So, but now we don't know what we are assigning. Whatever that we are going to assign, it will be what user has inserted into the system. So we run this and see now. So you see we are having a prompt, but this prompt, there is no space in between last name and the prompt. So we are coming back here and have an empty space. We run this again and then wait for the execution. So we have it. You see now there is a space in between the last name and the cursor. So I will now type, maybe I will type Mahmoud. So I will hit enter key and here what I have, hello Mahmoud. Can you see it? So again, if I want to write something like I have input name, and then I will come here and say another one here, call enter your age. So I will come back to this place and then have it here and run it. So we are going to encounter an error here, And the reason why we are encountering error is because you see here is like you don't have any error to see, right? So you have, let's run it afresh. So you have last name, right? Let's say in the last name you have type Mahmoud. So enter. You have age 25. So I will encounter, you see the error is almost 25 because what your accepting name here, your displaying name here. So you need to change this to what? You need to change this to age, and then change this also to age. Then we run this and see now. From here, we have a Bamanga, then enter. It will ask of name. I will enter 24, enter. So you see now here, hello Bamanga, hello 20 what? 24. But if I don't want this to appear here, I will say hello. This time around I will type Mr. Name, whatever you have inserted there. Hello, your name, then your whatever age of use you're going to insert here. It's going to be age. Hello, your name, age, old. Like hello Bamanga, you are 10 years old. You are this years old. So we run it again, and now look at it here. We are going to write Bamanga, enter, is going to be, let's say 16, and you see it here. Hello Mr. Bamanga, you are 16 years old. How do you see it? So this is the typical function of our input function, where you can be able at least to task the system to accept data from the user, and then you use it for future display. So this is how we use this in displaying hello world on the screen. So we are going to have let's comment this. We are going to comment all these functions. So we are going to have we are going to write a program that can sum up two numbers, isn't it? That can sum up two numbers. That is, we use our arithmetics operators. So to do sum of two numbers, we know first of all we need to what? Declare or assign variable. Let's just say let's quickly have a recap of our variable. Let's say we have 10, we have 15, we have num2, we have 10, isn't it? Then we have print, whatever functions that you're going to have here. Let's say we have function string, open and close bracket, double quote, the sum of two numbers is, isn't it? So it's going to be what now? The sum of two numbers. What is the problem? This one shouldn't have been here. It's okay, so that we can have this as what? Number what? 1 plus num2, isn't it? Let's run this and see. We are going to have error. Definitely, we knew that. The reason is why we are having an error is because here we did not have the sum. So let's say we have sum is equals to num1 plus num2. So we are going to include also a string here. A string here. I think this is the major reason why it did not display earlier, but notwithstanding we use sum. Then we try to run this. It's going to be an error. There's going to be an error if sum is this. What if we take back our num1 plus num2? Is going to be the same thing, isn't it? So here let's say, what is the problem? Function def print value object except string as a none. We have another we are having here is that this should be within Discord, and that's on. So this is how we fix this, and we see now this is what we are having. The sum of two numbers is 25, isn't it? So now This is how you specify the what? The variables inside the program. But if we want to have input from the user, let's say we have input, then we now write from this from here, and that input, there is something there. Let's say we have enter the first number. So this time around, these numbers, you need to add the data type here. This number should be int. So definitely you are going to add this int here. You see it here. Where is it? So we added int here. You see it here. Int input this. So in the second one also, we add the integer data type. We have input, then open and close bracket, including our double quote. So we have enter the second number. Enter the second number, so that if we run this program, it's going to display to the user. Enter the first number, you will now enter the number, and then it will request the second number. You now insert the second number, then it will now perform the computation. So the computation is going to be sum is equals to num1 num2, then it will now display the sum here. Are we together? So let's run this and see. You see now, enter the first this, but the same thing here, we did not include empty space here. Let's include it. So run it. So enter the first number, I will say maybe 2. Enter the second number, maybe 3. Then enter. You see now, the sum of two numbers is 5. So what if you want to write the sum of two numbers, the sum of, we are not writing two numbers, the sum of is going to be the sum of number 1, whatever you inserted in number 1, then and what? And number 2, whatever you inserted in number 2. The sum of number 1 and number 2, number 1 and number 2 is, are we together? Is the sum, isn't it? So let's run it again and see. The first number is going to be 6. The second number is going to be 7. So you've seen it now. The sum of 6 and 7 is 13. So the same thing here, if you want to apply the same rule for what? For the product, for the division, and for the subtraction. Let's try to do the same thing here. We are going to refine all these. From sum, we'll make this prod. We'll make this to be div, that's division. And we make this to be sub, that's subtraction. In the prod, we have multiplication, right? That's asterisk. In the div, we have /. In the sub, we have minus. So the same thing here, this is for the prod, isn't it? This is for the div. Just be careful with the spelling because of the case sensitivity. Then the last one is the sub. So we are coming back to say here, the prod, isn't it? The division, the product, we can write in full. The product, the division of two numbers, the subtraction of two numbers. So here we are going to run it. So because of the subtraction, we know we are subtracting the what? Look at it here. The second number from the first number. So the first number need to be high because we did not take care of the negativity. But let's try to see. We've written 5. In the second one, we write 2. So enter. So let's look at it here. The sum of 5 and 2 is 7. The product of 5 and 2 is 10. The division of 5 and 2 is 2.5. The subtraction of 5 and 2 is 3. So this is how you utilize your input statement or your input function in carrying out your Python programming as basic or as far as basic is concerned. I hope you have enjoyed this class. If you do enjoy it, don't forget to share our video, follow, subscribe, and then comment on the comment section so that we will continue to give you a very good fundamental classes like this. Thank you for being with us.